Our relationship started back in 2022. So we reached out to Intellitec, not about Business Central. We actually, at the time, didn't know they had Business Central competency as well. And so we reached out to them really for help with our CRM side of the house, not the Business Central side. So yeah, so it was, I mean, we ended up engaging on a number of projects, and Intellitec was incredibly helpful on those areas. So we just sort of, in conversations that we had, we also talked about the Business Central problems that we were having, and they said, well, we have that expertise as well. And so then that's been a second part of our relationship that's been really valuable to us. I'm Anthony Uliano. I'm the founder and CEO of AMC. It's a company that I founded in 1995, so we just celebrated our 30th anniversary, and we focus on CRM and CTI integration, typically for large enterprises and typically for their contact centers. If I have a question about something, it was a lot of times I would go in there and I'd look at data, but it didn't really make a lot of sense. And then when I was talking to our CFO, she would say, well, that's because of this, or I took care of that on this other report. And so it was a lot of back and forth that we had to have. So rather than talking about the strategic side of financial management, we were talking about we were spending too much time talking about the tactical side of accounting and financial management. For one, we were able to see, we were able to tell more easily which of our customers were subscribing the longest, which ones we were seeing revenue growth month over month, which ones were expanding with us. And so but one of the things that now the Intellitec team is helping us with is to join the two systems together. So we have a lot of our customer data in CRM, and of course you have to have some customer data as well in Business Central, but they weren't synced together. We were running into these issues where we might have opportunities on the CRM side, but those there wasn't an easy way to actually see how many of those opportunities resulted in orders, or how many of those, what kind of revenue are we getting from a customer to be able to do our segmentation on the customer success side. I mean, so once we can go into the Business Central system and see more accurate reporting, we were drawing our own conclusions about customer segmentation, who was spending more money, who was growing with us, who was maybe pulling back the number of users that they had or whatever. We were able to actually at least have that data and have it be accurate. And so, but what we wanted to do is, and we're working on this now, is we're tying it with our CRM system. So there's really a much more comprehensive view of our customers. What Intellitec brings is sort of deep expertise across a broad scope of the Microsoft platforms. I mean, we've even talked to them about things on SharePoint and other things that are related to our business process. And so they really bring a lot of depth of knowledge, not just about industry and business, but also about the technical systems. Amanda both had a deep understanding of Business Central. I would say she appears to be an incredible expert in Business Central, but she also had practical accounting background and also knew about accrual-based accounting and all of that. She has actually sort of pivoted her role a little bit into more of a CRO, Chief Revenue Officer sort of role. So she's using that data, and she now trusts that the system and the bookkeeping and the accounting is happening properly. Our bank recs are happening, our closings are happening so much. So she's able to really focus her time on really some of the strategic partners and customers that we have. To be able to actually drive more revenue. So she's working with our sales teams to come up with strategies, and not only strategies for how to increase our revenue with those strategic customers and partners, but also what impact pricing changes may have. So now being excited for not only what she's able to do with Business Central, but how much time it's freed up, and now what she can focus on as a result. Because she really wanted to focus on sort of more on the revenue side, be able to help generate revenue, not just worried about how all this was being accounted for, but she sort of felt like, and especially with the complexity of accrual, it's quite a bit more complex than cash-based accounting. And so she was focusing a lot of her time on that. Now she feels much more confident to the point where she now can trust that the bookkeepers can make entries without making errors, and she can then focus her time on revenue generation, which has actually really had a big impact on our continued growth. Whenever they've made changes, they also have offered to write training guides. They have actually done hands-on training for our bookkeeping staff. They've written like how-to documents that we use for the sales team. Like when the Intellitec team worked on the quoting, they wrote a process document for how quoting is different with what they've done. So Intellitec has a great vibe. They're laid back, they're super flexible. So the whole relationship has been really valuable, not just from my interactions with them, but also the direct value they're adding and the indirect value they're adding. Because I can look at them as just a trusted extension of our own team, because I can then offload these complex problems that I've been dealing with, that I have to bring in other resources, and I can trust that the research they're doing, the recommendations that they're making, the implementation that they're doing is going to work.